Hey guys, welcome back. Fan here again, and today I'm going to be talking about the leadership skill, which increases attack speed. Now, in the game Summoner's War Sky Arena, attack speed is very vital, and many people say that it is the best attribute to have, period. And I believe that this is something that's pretty true. So monsters with leadership skills that increase your attack speed are obviously going to be very valuable. And I thought I'd share with you guys every single monster which has one of these leadership skills, so you guys don't have to kind of wander around too much, and you can kind of compare where your leadership skill is compared to all the other monsters. So let's start with the fire section here. First one I want to talk about is the Fire Amazon. It's going to be this one right here. Now the Fire Amazon needs to be evolved before it gains the leadership ability, and what it does is it increases the attack speed of allied monsters by 13%. So that's not bad. 13% is respectable, especially if you're in the early to mid sections of the game. If you're a beginning player or an intermediate player and you have one of these, then definitely use it as your leadership skill. I would say it beats out the fairy by a lot. Second one I want to talk about here is going to be the Sylph. And basically the Sylph is something that is very common nowadays. Pretty much everyone's running this in Arena just because of the leadership skill and how good it is. Now what the leadership skill for Sylph is for the Fire Sylph, it's going to be increased attack speed of allied monsters by 19%. So that's really good, right? It's a 6% increase over the Fire Amazon, and it's extremely strong both in Arena and in dungeons. Now, the only way you can really get these Sylphs is either by summoning from mystical scrolls, or alternatively, you can try to, make the Fire Sylph from the fusion hexagram if you do have enough. And also the Fire Sylph does not need to be awakened, it just comes with the leadership skill even in the unawakened form. Next one that has an attack speed buff is going to be the Fire Ninja. And basically what the Fire Ninja does is it increases the attack speed of allied monsters that are fire by 30%. And this is really good if you're running like 3 to 4 fire monsters. If you do have this monster, if you got lucky and got it somehow early on, I would consider making a mono fire team just because of how strong this leadership skill is. It's really great both in Arena as well as in dungeons, and everywhere else as well. Now the last thing I wanted to talk about in the fire section here is the Valkyrja. Not exactly sure how to pronounce it, but this is what it looks like in its evolved form. It's called Vanessa, and even in its unevolved form, even in the Valkyrja form, it does have the leadership skill, which increases the attack speed of allied monsters in the arena by 33%. So as you can imagine, this monster is extremely strong as a leader in the arena. However, it is also, I believe, a natural 5-star, so it is hard to get this monster. But if you do have one, definitely use it as your leader for the arena. So, to recap, that's going to be 5 monsters in the fire section with leadership skills that are related to attack speed increase. Next, we're going to have the water section here, which has a total of 4 monsters with attack speed increases. And the first one I want to talk about is going to be the Water Inugami. Water Inugami comes with this leadership skill, which increases attack speed of allied monsters with water by 23%. It's not bad, and if you just happen to be using 3 to 4 water monsters, you might use this as the leader. However, I wouldn't make like a completely monocentric water team just because you have an Inugami. It's not quite high enough to justify that. But this is something to keep in mind because it does increase the attack speed. And if you want an Inugami, you can actually run, I believe, Hell, or maybe even hard mode. The very first quest area drops Inugamis, so you can look at that. Second one is going to be a repeat here, and it's going to be the water Sylph, very strong once again, and leadership skill is the same as the fire one, increases attack speed of all allied monsters by 19% everywhere. So really good skill once again. Next one is going to be the water Succubus, and the water Succubus is actually something that needs to be awakened before it gets its leadership skill. So I'm going to show you the awakened form. So this is the water Succubus, and the awakened form is Azaria. And the leadership skill you get is increases the attack speed of ally monsters in the arena by 24%, so that's really good. Definitely use this as an arena leader if you have this monster. However, it is a little bit weaker than water Sylph in the other skills in my opinion, so that's kind of a trade-off that you have to make. Or you could just use them both, your choice. So those were... Oh, there's one more actually, and it's going to be a repeat. It's going to be the Water Ninja. So this is the last one that gives you attack speed, you know, in terms of all the water monsters out there. And it increases the attack speed of ally monsters that are water by 30%. So exactly like fire, except, you know, this one's water. And if you do find this, you can make a monocentric water team, because I do think that the leader skill is pretty good, good enough to justify that kind of thing if you don't already have, like, you know, a bunch of strong monsters. So those were the 4 in the water section. Let's move on to the wind section. And in the wind section, there's going to be a lot of repeats, so I'm not going to spend much time on them, but there's 5 in total. First one is going to be the Inugami. It's going to be the same thing. Leadership skill here, 23% for allies with wind attribute. Once again, not that great, but you know, it is what it is. You can use it in the early game if you happen to find one. Next one is the Sylph. Now I want to spend a little bit of time on the Sylph here because this one's a little different from the fire and water ones. It increases the attack speed of ally monsters in the arena only by 24%. So you can use this in the arena, and it's going to be a better leader than the fire or water Sylph. However, you can't use this anywhere else. So you can't use this in dungeons and Trial of Ascension, you know, in your normal quest areas, like you can with the fire and water Sylph. So keep that in mind. Next one is going to be the ninja yet again, and the ninja needs to be awakened before you can, you know, gain access to that leadership skill. So I will be showing you guys that. So the wind ninja, this is actually a really good monster as well. It's called Orochi, and leadership skill increases wind monsters, you know, attack speed by 30%, just like every other ninja. So very good stuff there. Now there's 2 more new ones in the wind section that also increase your allied monsters attack speed, and both are natural 5 stars, I believe. So let's see where they are here. Oh, this is the awakened form. So I want to show you the non-awakened form of these monsters because you don't actually have to awaken either of them in order to get that buff. So first one's going to be the dragon. Dragon increases your attack speed by 24% everywhere. Very strong skill. Natural 5 star, and if you haven't figured it out already, you know, the 3 sword symbol here is the symbol for attack speed increase. So you can always look at that as well. Next one is going to be the Wind Oracle, and it's actually the exact same thing. Increases the attack speed of your monsters by 24%, and once again, it's pretty amazing, and it works everywhere. So let's move on to the light section here. There's only 2 in the light section, and they're both repeats, so this is going to not take very long. First one is the Wind Sylph. Now, one thing to note about this one is it increases the attack speed of ally monsters only in the dungeons by 24%. So, you know, that's a little bit different, and I'm going to go over all the Sylphs after I cover the dark ones, so you know the distinction between each of them. Next one in the light section here is going to be the Light Ninja, and it's actually pretty much the exact same thing. It increases all the light monsters' attack speed by 30%, so, you know, very much the same as the ninjas of every other element there. And I'm just gonna skip over that because we've seen enough ninjas already. And in the dark section, there's going to be 4 monsters total with attack speed increases. First one is the Dark Viking. Dark Viking has a skill which increases your attack speed by 10% for all allied monsters, which unfortunately is pretty weak as you get in the mid to late stages of the Summoner's War game. But if you do somehow manage to get a Dark Viking in the early game, that could be pretty good. Next, I want to talk about the Dark Sylph, which is, of course, that's the High Elemental. Dark Sylph, which is, of course, going to have another increased attack speed skill. This one is the same as the light one, and it increases the attack speed of your monsters in the dungeon by 24%. So I'm going to recap all the Sylphs now, because each of them has like a somewhat different skill. So the light and dark ones have increased attack speed of allies by 24% in the dungeon only. So you can only use these in the dungeon, unfortunately, which is not that useful because there's a lot of monsters in the dungeon that are better, specifically like the vampire. For the wind Sylph, it's gonna be increase the monster's attack speed by 24% in the arena only. So the wind Sylph is gonna be very strong as a leader in the arena. And for water and fire, it's increased your ally monster's attack speed by 19%. So a bit weaker, but they work everywhere. Could work in dungeons, could work in arena, and everywhere else as well. So those are the differences between the various Sylphs. And moving on here, we're just gonna have 2 more of the same thing. So the next one with attack speed increase here is gonna be the Ninja. So Dark Ninja. Obviously, it's very hard to find because it's a dark monster and it's a natural 4-star, I believe. Could be 5, I'm not certain. I think it's 4. And the last one is going to be the Dark Valkyrja as well. So the Ninja is going to be the exact same as all the other ones. The Dark Ninja increases allied dark monsters' attack speed by 30%. And the Dark Valkyrja is going to increase ally monsters' attack speed by 33% in the arena. So that one is once again very, very strong in the arena, and it's definitely something that if you somehow manage to find it, definitely try and use it in the arena as your leader, because it's an incredible buff there. So those are pretty much all the monsters, honestly, in terms of attack speed buffs. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I can do other videos which address other leadership skills as well in the future. So, if you have any other videos you want to see, please leave them in the comments section below and I'll try and address it. And thanks for watching, guys. Hope you guys can like and subscribe if you did like this video. And until next time, thanks for watching.